Good morning everyone, welcome to my channel. So I'm starting the video at my great grandmother's Christmas tree. I've mentioned it before and I said that I'd do a video showing it constructed and in position, and I've been hanging on there some of my handmade Christmas decorations which sort of suit the tree because it's a family tree of sewers. So my stitching, bar two, which are from my shop, the rest are all hand stitched. So I'll give you a bit of a tour and just tell you a little bit about the history of this Christmas tree. Okay, let me get in closer. So first of all, this owl and this owl are not made by me. They are two Christmas decorations that we sell in our Christmas shops. So I just love them, and I designed them in the factory overseas, and yeah, I really love them. I think they're just gorgeous. So first of all, the decorations from previous years. This is a little bird that actually I think Rachel did maybe 2 years ago. A little hand-stitched, embellished with lace and trims little birdie. Then that inspired me to do a series of videos where I did Scrappy Rabbit, and that's him there, and this little rabbit here. And I did a little bird house, which is down here. And then recently, adding to the tree this year, is I had a go at the mushroom. So far the mushroom's the only one that I've had time to do. I'd love to do a few more. The wreath, there's a couple there that caught my eye, but this one was, I just had a morning and I thought I'm going to do that mushroom before it slips out of my mind and never comes back. So I've got myself a little mushroom now. And then Sarah did the fairy or the angel, and that inspired me. And then I went to make one, and I remembered that I had bought all this wool, let me get up the top there, to do wool felting, which I've never tried. And I had the needle and decided today was the day. So I found a video, I'll link it below, making a little ballerina mouse. And I thought, well, that's a good start for me. And she does a beautiful job at explaining it. So I sat down, it took hours. I've always been captivated by the mouse mansion. I'll link that below too, where you build a mouse house and the little mice are in there, which led me to needle felting. So that's my first attempt at needle felting. I love her, she's gorgeous. So that's my take on the fairy angel, Christmas angel. I've got myself a mouse for my tree. And I did the same thing Sarah did, using a piece of lace. I found a corner and used that as the point of which I then wrapped over her chest to create like a little sleeve. Sarah cut a circle of fabric and then had a hole here for the body to come through. I ended up doing a seam down the back, the tulle, couple layers of that, and the lace, and I just hand stitched that seam together and then gathered it with this cordage. I turned it over to create a tunnel, then I gathered it with this ribbon, and then when it knotted at the back, I left it hang out to create the big bow at the back of her dress. I thought that worked really well. So what else have I got? And then at the very top, not sure if you've seen the video yet for this guy, but he's coming up, a little embellished dove from the panel that Susanna gave me. So now back to the Christmas tree. As you can see, this Christmas tree has seen better days. Can you see this here? That's a little clasp that would have held a candle. Absolutely gorgeous. They're all over the tree, a lot are missing, and there's bits hanging off. I've added the gold lame. I remember Grandma doing that on her Christmas tree. So we sold it briefly, and then I haven't been able to get it back into stock. And I was so pleased I grabbed myself a bag of it. So we've got some little strands of gold lame on the tree, but she's an old tree. She's seen better days. And I love the fact that they would have put a little candle in that little clasp. I just think that's just so gorgeous. Probably would have burnt the house down if I did it. So the base of the Christmas tree has got German written on it. Now my ancestors pretty much on both sides of the family are actually from Prussia, but that's sort of Germany, sort of Russia. Prussia is sort of there in the middle. So I've got a lot of German influences, and you can see the German writing on it. I'm not sure what it says. Someone out there might know what that says, but very big, strong base. And then the tree comes up from there, caught in the top of this base. So I didn't know a lot about the tree. I found it in the back of Grandma's cupboard when she went into a nursing home. My mum and my mum's sister and myself cleaned the house up, packed the house up, and sorted everything. And this little tree was found in the back of the cupboard. Now, this here is broken, so there's more tree there. Or this is the top of the tree and there's more tree that would have been down here. The reason I know this is I'll show you these two photos. Now, we had a heap of photos got packed up, and when Mum passed away, her sister, who helped us do this tidying up, she said to me, the big box of photos, if your dad's not interested, could I have them? And I said, oh, for sure. So I grabbed them from the farm, and I have got them ready to give her at Christmas. Now, in the process, I thought, oh, I'll just have a little look through them again. There's some beautiful photos in there, and I came across these two. Would you believe it? I have found the Christmas tree way back when it was being used by the original families. So I think my grandmother might be in amongst these kids. I'm not 100% sure, but I believe so. I believe that's her and her cousins at the farmhouse. Now, that tree, from what Grandma told me, came from Prussia. So I can date this photo here to 1927. And I know it came out with my grandmother's mother's mother. So we're going back great grandmother. From there, I just do not know. So if I go right in close, I'm not 100% sure which is my grandmother, but it's definitely the farmhouse at Bowie, Kingaroy. And there's the Christmas tree, and it's a whole lot bigger than what I've got. I had a bit of a count of the layers. I'll bring my finger in. I think my bit stops there. So I'm missing the bottom section. So how gorgeous is that? And look at the finial. Let me get right up close. Look at the finial. Look at this lady here. I just noticed she's pregnant. Look at that. There's Grandma Winter there. Unbelievable. And my grandmother was adopted, so she would have been one of these little kids in amongst that group of kids. Oh, gorgeous. Now this photo, I don't know when it was taken. It's sitting on a bench in a tin shed. I just don't know if that was a closed-in veranda section of that house. I'm not sure. But still, when I count the layers, my tree gets to about where that swan is. So yeah, it's got a different top on the tree now. It's just a bauble. It's not an actual finial. I can see here, see the candle? Sorry, I'm very shaky here. I should probably have it in a stand. So the top of the tree. But see just below that big spiral, what do they call them? Finial at the top. There's the swan. So then the swan appears here. So very cool. fine tinsel on it. So it looks still a scrappy tree back then. So it's pretty much not much different now. But I love it. It is very special, very old. And I wasn't sure where it would sit in my house at Burrum. I've put a little set of battery operated lights on it, so at night I can flick the switch. You can probably see the little controller there, and there's just a little soft twinkly glow. So yeah, I'll just pan over here to the corner. See the snowman? There's two baubles there. When I got back to Brisbane, my puppy dogs had had their bath, and the puppy dog lady had done paw prints of them. So that's Bandit's big paw, and that's Pepper's big paw, just onto a piece of dowel with their name and a little bit of watercolour paint. How gorgeous. So I brought that back up to the house, and that's just sitting there. Okay guys, I will finish the video here, and then I'll go back to my craft desk. And what I'm thinking of making next is, I think we need a star for the top of our tree. So I'm thinking about doing that next. Okay guys, I'll see you in a few seconds. Bye. Okay, I'm back at my craft desk. So before I get on to my star, I just quickly grabbed all the bits and pieces I think I'll need, and a pattern that I've had for years that I've never made, so that'll be great. I just thought I'd touch base on needle felting, because I know you'll be asking me all these questions. So this is a cluster of goodies that I bought probably 2 years ago when I discovered needle felting, and it was very early in the process of starting my YouTube channel. And I think I would have mentioned it and put a link to the Mouse Mansion, which, like I said, is a huge mansion made out of boxes decorated to create a house that mice would live in. And then there's these little mice. The little mice aren't needle felted, I don't think. They're stitched together with fabrics and stuffed. But then that went down a slope, a slippery slope, into needle felting. So I ordered myself some grey, some white, and some pink. It's a wool. I'm pretty sure I got it from an Australian company. Thank goodness I left everything in here. There we go. That's who I ordered my supplies from. The needles that you use, I'll show you those in a moment, are in there. And you also need some pipe cleaners. You can just use wire as well, but everyone seemed to be using pipe cleaners. So what have I got here? Okay, needle felting key, regulars, crown, star. I do not know what all that means. As I said, I've just made one item and it was following a tutorial that I found. Just looking at this 2022, there was a discount code. I just can't remember if it was an actual pack or not. And what was this? Oh, this is where you choose the colours. So those balls, 25 grams, about $9. And I bought 2 of the grey. And the more you buy, the cheaper it got by the looks of it. Roving. Okay, so I've had this little pack of goodies sitting in the cupboard, and when I moved craft rooms, I realised that I hadn't done anything with it. So when I saw Sarah's video, I thought, oh, maybe I could do a mouse for my tree. So these are the little needles. Like I said, I'm new to this and I know nothing about it. The first one I picked up, I was stabbing away at it because you gather the yarn together. I'll do a little bit. I won't spend too much time on it because we'll be here forever. And say you've got your pipe cleaners, you lay all this around it, wrap it, bind it, whatever it is you're doing the video will explain more. And then you have like a pad, which I didn't have, but then when I got to my desk, I realised I had this wool mat, and it worked. The only other thing I didn't have, because you stab it and it all joins together into a felted, thick piece. I started with this really thin one, and it was taking forever. And I was like, oh my goodness, I thought my shoulder is going to give out before I achieve anything. But with all that stabbing, it becomes quite dense, and that big ball of fluff would become quite thick. I then realised there was a thicker one, this one here. And as soon as I started with that, I could see immediately results. Now, in the video, you'll see that she has little leather protective sleeves on her fingers. Well, let me say, before you do this, please get them. I did that mouse without, and I penetrated my finger about 7 times. I tried so hard not to, thinking I was smart enough, but I'm not. So I'd highly recommend, I'm going to just concentrate here for a second, you sort of roll it and stab and roll and stab, and it becomes felted and dense. And I was quite surprised, because once you create the little head for the mouse and you attach some extra wool to the back of the neck and shoulders to create the neck, so the back of the shoulders and the front of her body to start building up a base for a neck, you then attach the head, and the only way it's attached is by doing this. And I thought, there's no way that mouse's head's going to stay on. Oh, I'm trying not to get my fingers, guys. I'm so tender. But yeah, with the stabbing of it, you're pushing fibres up into the component you're attaching. Oh, you know what's missing off my mouse? Is a tail. I haven't made the tail. Oh, gosh, I got so caught up in then going to the dress. Yeah, she's missing a tail. I think all she did was roll out a piece and, you know, do a bit of the stabbing. So you can see how that loose ball of yarn now is getting quite dense. But if you did decide to go down this slippery slope, this rabbit hole, I can see more in my future, but I need some protective finger covers. See, that's actually quite dense now. It's very cool. So that could be the start of another mouse head. So you would need a selection of needles. Would be the first thing you need to make sure. You need a pad of which that you can stab into. They seem to use like it's not polystyrene, but it's wheat bags they often use too. There'll be a bag of wheat and they stab into that. There's a few options out there. You'll need some pipe cleaners to make your legs and then some pink. If you're doing mice, you'd need some pink little highlights and some grey and some white. That'd be a good start. So that is needle felting mousey style. So there you go. I'll put all the info in the box and some videos that I've been watching, which might interest you. Now, oh, see, that was on a leg that didn't quite. That could be the tail. Does she have a pink tail? She would have a pink tail. There you go. That'll become something. All right, let me now get focused on the decorations. Before I do, I showed this kit in another video. I've lost track of videos, guys. So pretty much I filmed everything up to New Year's Day. So everything's done, and I've had a week's break from videos, and that's how these Christmas decorations have come to be. I couldn't help myself with that mushroom, and it's just opened up a can of worms. So now I'm making this video, and I knew I hadn't shown you the Christmas tree. So I thought, well, now I've got a mushroom and a mouse, and I've got this pack which I found when I was packing up the house. Look at those, gosh. I bought this at a fair, you know those sewing fairs? This is from My Felt Lady. Now I believe she has a website where she sells felt. Now she was also at the fair. I'm just going to jump up and grab my container of felt. See, all these things have come out of the woodwork because I moved my craft room. Now if you're after some wool felt, when the Roxy Creations kicked off, I think right at the very beginning, I got myself a little bit of wool felt. Now I had heaps of the cheap stuff from years of crafting, just cheap rubbishy stuff. It's real stiff and consistency is not good. But I thought I'll get some nice wool felt, and you often see Sue Spargo stitching into this. Now the felt, My Felt Lady, has a lovely website with lots of colours. So I got a little bit of everything there from her, which I have never used, so that was worth it. And she then appeared on a stand at the local craft fair, and I bought from her some more pieces of felt because I saw them in real life. The champagne, the blue, and then some of the cream, and this little kit. So it comes with some little beads, and then the dove pattern and the bauble pattern. So my plan is to, over the next week or so leading up to Christmas, is to have a play with these. So that pattern I'll definitely make for my tree, probably in the champagne tone. So I put that to one side. So I'm not sure if you'll see them finished at the end of the video. Who knows? This might be a bit of a video of components as I come along, but we'll see. In the meantime, as I said, I really want to do a star for the top of my tree. And this pattern fell out of my stash. I knew it was there, and I have made it in the past. Now, I'm not sure if you guys will find this anywhere. Gabby and Gloria. The pattern is from Mum's Moment. Now, I've made the angels before. They are, there's my little pattern pieces. They are two angels that hang in the air at an angle. So you've got the head, the body, then a little pinafore, and then some legs that hang out the back and some wings. Gorgeous little pattern. And you put two of them together, and then hanging from their hands, where the two hands meet, where the fingertips meet, you hang a cluster of stitched hearts or stars. So you could do 1, 2, whatever. And you see how it sort of all comes together. So what I thought I might do, if time allows, I might make an angel for my tree, but I definitely have never made the star. I made the heart years ago, but I've never made the star. So that's my homework. I'm going to work on a bauble and some baubles for my tree using that kit, and I'm going to make a star. So it's pretty simple. That's the pattern. So you could use any star really you can find on the internet. So I'm just going to trace my shape. I like this star. It's got like a soft edge about it. So the first thing I want to do, and I thought I'll use some of my vintage antique linen that I got from Paris. Now the angel, if I get the angel made, I wouldn't mind making her out of some of my French fabrics that I've got. The thing is, I'm in Durham and they're at Brisbane. So I am heading back briefly to pick up and drop off some visitors and do a few little race around appointments. Don't know why I'm doing this line because I'm pretty sure I could figure that one out, but anyway. So I might make the angel using some French fabrics, but at least I can do those baubles, the felt baubles, and I can get this star made with the supplies that I have with me. So that's the plan. So at the end of this video, you might see a picture of the completed bits and pieces, whether the angel's in amongst it. That'll give you an indication of how my week went. So let's just tidy that up. So yeah, I'm to-ing and fro-ing everywhere, and I'm just, whenever I have a quiet moment, something to do is what I'm looking for. So, and I've now gone down this Christmas decorating rabbit hole, isn't it, the way? So I'm just using this purely as a template to trace around, because my fabric's so thick that I'd never see it through, not with a light box or sunlight through a window. So I thought, oh, I'll just do this. I also grabbed my calico and a hoop, because I thought I might pop it into a hoop and then cut it out. Is my thought. So this is the linen I've been nibbling into. This was an old, it's a, what do they call them? Tea towel. Oh my goodness. Gosh, guys, I tell you, I'm now starting to plan the food and recipes. And how are you guys going with your Christmas plans? I don't know what day you're going to be watching this, because as I said, I've got everything pre-programmed. So, but I haven't been putting a video up on a Sunday. So my guess is this video will be for you guys on a Sunday. Let's get the grain of that fabric a little bit true to a point on the star. That'd be probably the smart thing to do. So I would say you're watching this on a Sunday. I just don't know which Sunday. Not sure. I love the bauble too that Sarah did. I just haven't had a chance to get to the website that she got it from, Ann Woods, and grab the shape. I'm going to run out of days. That's what I'm going to run out of. The other thing I'll need to do is have a think about how I attach the star to the tree. It has a little pointy timber top, and I was thinking of making a hole and a little stick so that it gets attached that way, but I've just had a thought just then that I could probably stitch a piece of fabric on the back like that, stitch it there and stitch it there, and just slide that tip of the tree up the back, and I think it'd just sit there. I think that's the easiest, less engineered way of doing this, is what I'm thinking. So now I have my star where I want it. Okay, so let's cut star out. Where are my scissors? There they are. Oh, my table is such a mess, guys. Like I said, tomorrow we head back to Brisbane, so I've got everything I should take with me on the table, but I probably don't need any of it because I'm not going to have time anyway. So, yeah, hither and dither. I think I'll cut this out close-ish. All right, beautiful fabric put away. Should I take it with me? I could use it on the angels, couldn't I? So pop it in the pile. Gosh, see, it's that panic. You're leaving your craft room. You have a craft room in the new other location, like still. And I've tried to pack my craft room, like divide myself out a little bit. What am I trying to do here? Concentrate for a second, girl. I'm getting myself some backing fabric that'll fit into this hoop because I presume the star will. Yes, it will. Excellent. So there is a plan. I know sometimes you guys wonder, but there's a plan. All right. So yeah, like I was saying, I've tried to pack my craft room so I've got calico at both locations. My threads just travel with me. Mind you, I've been humping around the countryside and I've barely used them. So, I don't know. It's like you panic, don't you? You might need a purple cotton, so you better cart all of the purples. It's silly, silly, silly. Okay. Get rid of that. Put that in the scrap bucket for a rainy day. Now, the plan is to secure it onto this. I might just tack it down. But maybe I don't need the hoop. I don't know. I haven't decided what I'm going to do with it, decoration-wise yet. I had visions of it sitting in the hoop to make sure it was nice and sturdy. I must say it's been good to have a week of nothing, as in videoing. I've still been, you know, doing things, finishing off things and, you know, but I had a chat to, I won't cut that yet. I had a chat to Susanna. Is that even going to fit in the hoop? Yes, it is. I had a chat to Susanna. And I said, I just feel so non-motivated now because it's like I've gone for the big push to get all your videos in place for right up to the Friday before Christmas. And then I'm taking off with no videos Christmas right through to New Year's Day. And that's the first video. And then I've got nothing in reserve from there. Like it literally stops. So I said to Susanna, I'm really enjoying the break, but technically I should be starting to think about the videos for January. So, but I just don't feel motivated. See what happens when you stop? It's like you take a breath and then you're like, oh, I really need to do something. But these Christmas decorations have been great. Watching those. I'll tell you another little decoration that caught my eye is Christine from Craft and Create, or Create Craft. Oh, Christine, I'm so sorry. I don't even have my phone to check your website. I'll link her below. She did a a little drum made out of a tube. I thought that was so sweet. And I would have probably made one of those, but I don't have my trims with me to any sparkly trims. I've got plenty of laces and that, but nothing that you would imagine going on a drum. So that caught my eye. Maybe when I get back to Brisbane, I might. I'm wrapping Christmas presents, so the tube inside the wrapping paper, she cut it to about probably the height of that. And then put calico over the top and the bottom, glued that down, and then wrap the fabric around for the drum, and then added trim and then the little drumsticks. Very, very cute. Okay. I didn't take much notice of the time. I think we did about 10 minutes of Christmas tree chat, and there's 23 minutes of everything else chat. so that's now secured. So it's just adding that extra layer to my star. That's as far as I've got. I don't even know if I need the hoop, guys. Do I need the hoop? Probably not. So, threads. How far have I thought this out? Not far at all. Don't even know what I'm going to stitch on it. In the pattern, it's just an outline with Holy Night or Silent Night, which I actually don't mind. Where's the pattern again, guys? I don't mind Silent Night. If I was to write that on there, how would that look? It's very big. Probably doesn't need to be as big as that. Maybe I just add some lacy morsels and a bit of slow stitch. There we go. We'll see. The words are at least there. What did the other one say? Holy Night. Oh, I like that too. Okay. Very indecisive today, aren't I? It's because I'm chillaxed. Can't you tell? Lacy bits. What about some lacy bits? I bought a chair up from Brisbane too, so I'm feeling a lot more comfortable because I was sitting on a dining chair and they're like a woven cane, and they bloomin' hurt me butt. An hour of sitting and filming and it was like pushing into the back of my legs. So I've got my office chair, but it's creaky. Listen to this. That's not good. Oh boy, oh boy. So I've got my scrappy bucket here. There's a bit of everything in here. It's my travelling scrap bucket. Is there anything old and precious in here that, with the beads out of the way? My travelling beads, which I've used hardly any. What have we got? Oh, that's left over from the mouse. The mouse dress. Is that chair going to annoy you? Some scrappy bits. Maybe I could just use lace soft. See, that was cut off the edge where I hemmed the mouse's dress, the skirt. That was the bit I trimmed off to cut it back to my hemline. So those are like new bits that have just arrived in my bucket of tricks here. I have some little pieces. Just excuse me as I rummage. Oh, I love that. Stay focused. Scrappy, messy, love it. Don't really want to pull too much. That's some silk off Nikki Franklin's little patterns that she ties them closed. I don't know what I'm doing here, guys. I'm just fiddling. Just fiddling. That sort of looks like it's connected a little. So let me know in the comments, are you guys doing the Roxy stitching? I've been really enjoying watching, and I haven't had the pressure of participating because I decided I just can't do it all. So I was going to enjoy the videos as a YouTuber watcher. And I've thoroughly enjoyed it. It's been great. Having no pressure, waking up of a morning, there's a video of the girls waiting for me. It's been fantastic. But then they've sucked me in. They've sucked me in. That mushroom, the mushroom did me in. But I don't mind. It's all good. I think I'm just going to nibble some of these little bits out, these lacy bits. And just stitch them down. What better way to use the scrappy bits? Don't even mind that, it's probably a bit big. Very random, isn't it? But that's what we like. Just little I feel like I could put like a scrap of fabric there. Can you guys see? Am I even in camera? Yep. I know it's tricky for the YouTube gang to keep everything in focus, but it sort of gets to the point where we've just filmed it, we haven't realised that we're out of whack a little bit, and do you just not post the video and then you have nothing? So I think a lot of us sort of go, oh gosh, there's a section there where it's just not in shot. So the option is not to post a video and then you guys have nothing, because often we can't redo it because it is a one-off and done, finished. So you have to bear with us when we're a little bit out of focus. I can guarantee none of us, the gang that you guys usually watch, none of us have professional setups. We literally have a random arm that is just hanging in midair. We're sitting on dodgy seats that creak. We have echoes, we have... So, yeah, you guys need to just cut us some slack and, yeah... Because, you know, you watch a video, I've stopped rewatching my videos too. I just don't have time. So I literally film it and up it goes, and it is what it is. It's just, it's as you get it is as you get it. So I don't think there's much else I can use. There's this tiny little flower, a couple little flowers. So yeah, just bear with us. We try our darndest. We're a bodgy mob of crafters. We are not professionals in any way. Yeah, I like that. Just a little swish of... So I might just pin that down. Don't think I'll need my hoop. I'll keep that typical slow stitch feel. Ow. Oh, my poor fingers. It's been good to give them a rest because I was getting stuck into my... Oh, that's what I should show you, is my Fleur Woods piece. I've finished it and I've lodged it for the online exhibition. Everyone who is in the course for that particular season, because they seem to be a 6-monthly thing, you get to exhibit your final piece, your big piece, in a online exhibition, which is a bit of fun, especially when you've never done anything like that. So that's fun. So my piece is finished. I shall show you that. and it's been entered, done. And I had to put some big hours into finishing that. Oh my goodness. I remember, Rachel, you were commenting that your fingers, you were really working your fingers, and oh yeah, totally get it. Okay, so all I'm going to do now is, you guessed it, invisible stitch all those little elements down. Then I'll come back through with probably that cream and do some little, I'm going to just get rid of those little bits, pop them over there. Yeah, come back with some camphor stitch in amongst it. And then I will probably just cut it out, and I'll probably put a piece of felt at the back just to keep stiffening it up. Maybe I should have some wadding as well on this before I stitch. Should I? I think I need to. Okay guys, I'm going to pause the video. I'm going to race over to my drawer there, grab some wadding. I'm going to drop a piece of wadding in the back just to help thicken it. And then when I put a piece of felt over it all to hide all my stitching, and that's the 4th layer, and that should really help give it a little bit of structure. So yeah, I'll pause the video and be back in a moment. Okay, won't be a second. Okay, I'm back, and I found just a piece of interfacing. So I will just cut out the star again, but make it a fraction smaller, and that can just sit in, because I don't want to see the white wadding. So I'll just trace it out, but I might actually cut it back where that decorative stitch line is what I'm thinking. That'll just give that little bit extra padding. Sneak it right back. There we go. So the Fleur Woods piece, one of the videos that you may or may not have seen yet, I'm working on it, and I'll probably make comments to the line of I'm busily getting that piece done. I may even give you a bit of a look. I just can't remember how all that fell together, but that also may have already happened. So you will see the finished piece now, but like I'm saying, it may pop up not finished. Does that make sense? Now it's a case of find out where this star fits. There it is. And that will go in the back there somewhere. Just to make sure. Probably should have just done a big square. This is making it harder than it needs to. I don't feel like that's even contributed much, you know. I sort of think I've got some blanket felt at home, but not here. And it's like, yeah, see, that's too thin. That's just not giving me anything, guys. What I need is the real thick blanket stuff, which I'm pretty sure I don't have any. Yeah. No. I don't. Just thinking. So I'm going to stop this project at that point. Get my piece of thicker. It's an old blanket that I've cut up, and it's really nice to stitch into. And it's these tones, so I won't have this white popping through potentially. So I'll put some wadding in there. I'll stitch all of this down and put the little tab at the back like I'm thinking, and then the Christmas tree can poke up through it. So I think that'll work a treat. So that's my star. Now let's have a look at the finished Fleur Woods piece. Let me get it up the right way. There it is there. She is done. She's been photographed and uploaded to the online exhibition. My goodness, the work, the fingers. But it was so much fun. So much fun. And I ended up calling it Behind the Garden Wall. I just sort of felt like the pieces of fabric that I used to block the border was like peeking over a garden wall, like the bricks of the wall. And in the description of the actual piece, I said it's like no one's kept this garden and they're all fighting for sunlight and they're all pushing past each other to get that little bit of sunlight. And when you look over that garden wall and see this messy, overgrown garden, that's sort of what I sort of felt like the piece sort of conjured up in my mind. So really, really happy with it. I'll bring it up a little bit closer so you can get a bit more of a visual of the stitches and the beads. So there you go. All right, guys, I might leave it at that. I will say goodbye and I will see you all in the next video. Bye for now. Hi guys, I'm back. As I finished the video, I walked away from my desk. I forgot to show you this. As I said earlier in these videos, cleaning out cupboards and packing and that, you find all sorts of treasures you'd forgotten you had. Now this was found in the clean out of Grandma's house as well, and it is a, what would you call it? It's a letter, a pamphlet that was given to my grandmother when she was about to give birth to some of her children. And it's typed by the matron. South Burnett Hospital Board would have drafted it, and matron has typed it all up. And it's to Dear Mrs. whoever, so it's a generic thing from the hospital. You're booking into the maternity section of this hospital. Has been noted, we sincerely desire to make your stay in the hospital as comfortable and as pleasant as possible, and with the end in view, I wish to advise you the following particulars. Can you just picture the matron sort of saying this? I can hear the voice. You will need to bring the following items with you for yourself: toilet items, toothbrush, toothpaste, a brush, a comb, soap, a face washer, etc. 4 night dresses, if you prefer to wear your own, singlets if desired, a dressing gown and slippers, 2 bed jackets, nursing brassiere, 2 packets of sanitary towels and belt. That conjures up some sights. Not memories, but I've heard the stories, seen some pictures. A card of large safety pins and a knot of white tape, 1 inch wide. What would that be for? A knot of 1 inch tape. I don't know. What would that possibly be used for? Anyway, you guys might be able to shed some light on that. For your baby, clothes to take baby home in. Clearly mark all items. The hospital does not accept any responsibility for laundering of private clothes. Babies may be seen between 3 p.m. and 4 p.m. daily. Special concessions can be arranged for the baby's father. Do not bring children into the obstetrics ward. It's a bit tough, isn't it? Visiting hours 3 to 3:30, 7 to 8 p.m. By arrangement 1:45 to 2:15. So you can come a little earlier, but it's by arrangement. I like how these pen notes, you know, we're making an exception. Private fees are payable weekly in advance. At the present time, the fees are charged at a single room, if available, £2. So it's got £2, 2 per day, less 8 Commonwealth Hospital benefit. Oh, okay, so there might be a Commonwealth hospital benefit must have been given to the mothers, which could be deducted from the £2 per day. Otherwise, accommodation is £1.15. So I'm not from the era of pounds, p's and pence. So 15p, threepence, I don't know, per day less the Commonwealth benefit. So otherwise accommodated. Don't know what the difference between that is. But anyway, I trust that this is all the information you require, and if you require any further information, we would be very pleased to supply it. And then written, yours faithfully, matron. So written in handwriting there is husband and parents only the first 3 days, 2 visitors at a time. Visitors not allowed during treatment, meal times, or baby feeding times. My goodness. So I just thought you might get a giggle out of that. When I found it, I thought, oh, gosh. Imagine the paperwork you get now. I've never had kids, so I don't know, but I'm guessing there's a lot of forms. And this was like a little handout given to the mum-to-be. I love the visiting times. You might get in early if you're lucky. Parents, only the first 3 days. I love the night dresses, the bed jackets. Oh, love it. All right, guys, I'm definitely saying goodbye now. I haven't stitched anything yet. We've still got this in process. We've still got these in, goodness knows if I'll even get to them. You know, the greatest plans, and then I might do an angel, but we'll see. That, as I was saying goodbye and just a minute ago, you probably heard my phone ringing. That was some friends coming to visit for the day. So stitching out the door. I better go and have a look in the fridge to see what snacks I've got. All right, guys, I'm just going with the flow. You guys have a great day. Enjoy your holidays, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye. Hello. Yes, it's me again. Okay, so, oh my goodness. Isn't it, you know, you start a project and then you head off in 10 different directions? That's just so me. I was thinking about the piece of felt blanket that's in Brisbane. And I thought, what a shame. I could stitch tonight. This project could be done, but it's going to drag on for days. So I was tidying up my desk and I started having a double check that I didn't have some here, which I don't. And I thought, well, maybe there's something else. I've got a few boxes of supplies here, and I have with me some pieces of old quilt that I've collected. I don't have a large lot of them, but I do have a little bit. Now, this one's not vintage. This would be just an old secondhand quilt from probably the 90s. But what I thought is I'm going to put my star on this. It'll give it a nice chunky feel, and then when the star turns around, we've got that. Or I could do it like that and have a little bit of the blue peeking out. So that's the first thought. Then I went to that bauble felt kit that I showed you and traced out all the bits, because I thought, well, I'm going back to Brisbane. This is easier to pack and play with. And I put the kit away because I just want to keep in this textile feel that I've got happening on that Christmas tree. The felt just didn't really fit. So I've traced out this guy on linen. Thinking I'll add it to here, but the back will probably be white. So let's spin that around. So let's assume the star goes on there to get a bit of a pop of color around the top of the star of the blue, and then a white background. So I'm going to pin that guy into position. Now I've got to try and get everything I want to do out of this piece. Here is my bauble. So and I don't really care that, oops, the blue is seen. I want to keep it neutral. Or do I do this blue business? I think I will, you know. Keep the backs plain. All right, let's assume it anyway. anything could change, for goodness sakes. So we're getting a nice pop of blue around him. So we're sort of making a little set. Gosh, this is so not where I thought I'd be going. Now that's that one, so he's done. That's that one that sits in this one. So let's draw this on, and I'm thinking I'll make them just a fraction bigger. Am I even on camera yet? So in the process of packing up this and finishing the video, and I realized I was at 57 minutes, and now I'm going to go on forever and never ever let you go. The bobcats have arrived, so if you hear a beep 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 in the background, they're flattening out the back of our block. Finally, the retainer wall, which is finished, is being backfilled. It's been 2 weeks, it's all the concrete set. So I do apologise for the beep beep. So that's that one. I honestly think I will spin them around and have blue at the back. I just think the blue at the back would be pretty to see. I'm covering it all up. Having said that, I'm making them bigger than what the pattern is, so maybe that will be enough. Who knows? But that's where I'm heading with it, guys. So I thought I'd quickly turn the camera on again. Now, they do have a dove on them. So let's trace this guy. And I'm making him bigger. Now my husband's just turned up in the kitchen, so he's going to start clinging and clanging around. So I'm filming this video on the 12th of December, and it's actually my hubby's birthday. And after I finished filming the last bit of video that you've just watched, the last hour of footage, I raced into the bedroom. It's quite early in the morning, and he had got up and was in the shower. And I said, friends are coming, get out of bed, the bobcats are here, it's all happening. And he goes, yeah, a friend of mine just called to wish me happy birthday. And I'm like, oh, happy birthday. I forgot, completely forgot. So I'm in strife already. Well, I'm not in strife, but it's pretty bad. So yeah, I thought I'll just quickly come on, show you where this project is heading. Now I'm going to cut the little bird out, and there's a possibility the little dove could be a blue dove. But let's get him cut out, pin him on. Then I promise I'm going to leave you. I can see workmen